Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be losing yourself in a long-term relationship. So I've got an email. This is from a viewer who he said he read my first book, 3% Man, about 6 years ago. And for the past 2.5 years, he's been in a long-term relationship. And things are going pretty well until about a year ago when his father passed away suddenly. He said it really kind of put him into a tailspin, and he suffered because of it, and he let it overwhelm him, and he got off track. He got uncentered. And this, what I love about this email, which is a great one, especially for guys in long-term relationships, is that you could see, I mean, at the end of the day, women will put up with you going through a difficult time, but if you stay there and you don't pull yourself out of it, they no longer feel safe trusting your masculine core. And on top of that, he kind of made her, he became needy, a little smothering, and he kind of made his girlfriend his mommy and his therapist. And so he went from being the source of masculine strength, or the mountain, if you will, to use the analogy that I have in 3% Man, to basically not having his act together. And his girlfriend really actually came out and told him that he needed to get his act together. But he got into therapy. He says that's helped a lot, and he's got refocused on himself. But he says the relationship just has not gotten back to where it was before his father passed away. And things seem to be kind of getting worse. And they got together this past weekend. They didn't have any sex or anything, and obviously he wasn't happy about it. He got perturbed, which only made matters worse. So he's asking, like, what? And he says he just started reading 3% Man again. Obviously, probably for those of you that have been watching me for a while, recognize if the guy read the book 6 years ago and then just now started reading again after he's been having problems for a year, there's no evidence of reading it the 10 to 15 times. And so he's got away from being the guy that she fell in love with. And that, I mean, at the end of the day, if you act masculine and centered and calm and playful, women are going to feel safe and comfortable trusting your masculine core and submitting to you, remaining in their feminine, always being excited to see you and make love and have good times together. But when you lose that, especially like in this case for an extended period of time, because obviously he lost his father, which is pretty traumatic if you're pretty close to your father or your mother for that matter. It's not easy as you get older and you lose your parents, you lose people, your grandparents, your close friends die unexpectedly. Those things happen. But you just can't stay there. You have to be able to pull yourself out of the funk, because women want a guy that's got his act together. And when you don't get it back together for an extended period of time, she doesn't want to become the man in the relationship. And that's basically what's happening here. So I got a quote that I wrote, and then we'll go through his email. Because I see a lot of, especially the red pill guys, get pissed off, and they talk about how fickle women are, and it's like they want to go through depression or a rough time and basically turn their girl into their mommy and therapist, and then they get upset that the women eventually leave or don't want to be around them anymore. And I'm just here to tell you what women emotionally respond to and what they're attracted to. And you can either do the right things or not. It's up to you. But don't be pissed off at me. I didn't make women the way they are. If you don't like it, talk to the big man upstairs. So the quote says, masculinity is calm, relaxed, playful, and unperturbable. Men in their masculine who appear to be able to handle anything life throws at them make their women feel safe and comfortable enough to be extremely feminine and submissive. Men who are quick to anger and easy to perturb make women feel unsafe and cause them to become more masculine and less romantically attracted to them. Never make your woman your mommy or your therapist unless you want her to lose respect and attraction for you. So he says, hi, Corey. I read How to Be a 3% Man 6 years ago when I was single and started reading again a few months ago. Also, I watch your YouTube channel to refresh my knowledge. My girlfriend of 2.5 years is a middle school teacher and has 2 children, 11 and 13. Her life is busy and hectic with class planning, grading, kids' sports, school activities, etc. She has her kids 85% of the time and will often have them for 10 days straight or more. We don't live together because I have a daughter in college who is with me a lot, and neither of our houses are big enough, but I am there a lot, and she includes me in her family activities on those weekends she has the kids. It's nice, but it doesn't mean we get any alone time. My dad died a year ago, and I went through a very hard time and lost myself. I know I leaned on her too much for a long time, but just couldn't get past the grief. And that is where the problem comes in, is that women are going to be loving and supportive, but you can't make that a permanent state of where you live emotionally. Eventually, they get tired of it, and they want you to get your shit together. In January, there was a gun incident on my girlfriend's campus, a big COVID outbreak, and she, her kids, and I all got COVID. The combo of the gun scare and being a single mom with COVID taking care of 2 kids with COVID was too much. Yeah, women don't want to be the man in the relationship. They want to be able to lean on you. You're supposed to be the strong one. You're the one that's supposed to bring the masculinity to the table. The femininity, you want to be soft, playful, joyful, and she will be as long as you're in your masculine. But once you get out of that and you start losing your shit and not getting it together for extended periods of time like he did, she's going to lose attraction and respect for you. She became overwhelmed and shut down because she didn't see things getting any better. So it looked hopeless. And you're supposed to be the one that gives her hope. You're supposed to be the leader. The word lead means to go first, and you stopped being the leader in your relationship. And so therefore her attraction to you dropped. It's just the way it works. Again, I didn't make women this way. Speak to the big man upstairs. As a result, she really pushed me away and told me to get my shit together. Exactly. She told you what you needed to hear. With everything she was experiencing, she couldn't hold me up too. I needed that push and promised to get my act together. Since then, I have been in therapy, working out, reading, praying, keeping a journal, and goal setting. Things have improved some, but not back to where they were a year ago. Yeah, you got to be consistent. And anytime you fall down on her, she's going to think, I can't trust this guy. I can't rely on him. He doesn't have his shit together, as she said. In February, I was a few weeks into my therapy, and my girlfriend asked me for help with dinner one night a week, picking up her kids once in a while from school or sports. She also asked if I could work with her on projects around the house, such as putting in new patio lighting. Typically, I'm happy to help her because it reduces the stress and improves our time together. However, often she will become stressed with everything on her plate and stops communicating with me. She tells me that she appreciates the help, but is still distant at times and rarely tells me she loves me unless I say it first. Well, that's an indication that she's not feeling it. Remember, as I talk about in 3% Man, when a woman feels heard and understood, the legs open. And when she doesn't, the legs close. And she obviously is shutting down because you were continually not opening her up because you were dealing with your own problems. So therefore, at some point, women just resign themselves like, he's not going to change. I can't pull this guy out of this. And I can't be the man in the relationship. I can't be man enough for both of us. I mean, she's a woman after all. She tells me she appreciates the help, but is still distant. He says, our sex life used to be fun and frequent. Well, remember the formula. Hang out, have fun, hook up. So if you're taking care of things around the house or fixing these, just do it with a happy face. Be glad to do it and glad to take care of it. As a man, remember, love is about giving. You're not fixing the lights or the other things because you want her to pat you on the head like a good little boy and get approval from mommy like Will Smith does with Jada. You just handle it because that's what men do. We handle shit. And you're not handling things in your relationship. If you're doing things for her and then upset that she's not responding a certain way, then it's not coming from a place of love and giving. It's coming from a place of horse trading. I'll fix your lights if you fuck me. I'll fix your lights if you give me a blowjob. It's like, that's not how it works. He says, now our sex is rare and pretty standard. We used to flirt a lot, sext, and FaceTime, but that doesn't happen anymore. I've tried to get that rolling again, but she doesn't respond or only sends me a kiss emoji. Well, the quickest way to get somebody else's attention is to remove yours. And what it sounds like is that you're still acting needy. You're still trying to get her attention. You're still seeking mommy's approval, that you're a good boyfriend. And instead of just living your life. If she's unwilling to communicate with you in a loving way and you're trying to open her up, but she just refuses to or says, I don't want to talk about it, and hangs up on you. Like I had a girlfriend in the past that did that, and we never could work anything out because she just refused to talk. And her way of resolving things was to get angry and pissed off and not speak to me for 3 or 4 days. Not ever explain why she was upset or what she was upset about. But then when she would reach out and just act like nothing ever happened, as if it just swept under the rug. But if you've got a woman that's willing to communicate and open her up, because remember, as I talk about in 3% Man, a lot of times women will say, I don't want to talk about it, because deep down, if they know that if you really care, you're going to want to get to the bottom of it. You just say, are you all right? You're kind of quiet. What's going on? You got to talk to me. Babe, what's going on? I'm the mind reader. So the past 2 weeks have been very busy for her. She had the kids for 2 weeks straight. During that time, her son had soccer practice, playoff championship game, and her daughter had musical rehearsal every day plus 3 performances. I arrived this past Saturday evening to pick her up for our date. She and the kids had just arrived home from the last musical performance. The kids left quickly for one night with their dad, so I thought it was game on. Notice he's focused. Remember the hang out, have fun, hook up. And what's he thinking about? He's thinking about the dessert. He wants the hookup part. The hanging out, the having fun, and then the hooking up. It's step 1, step 2, step 3. You got to go through it's always the same process. And you're trying to put the cart before the horse. You're doing the opposite of what the book teaches. It was clear my girlfriend was tired from a long day, so I ran a few errands for an hour to give her time to rest and regroup. Because again, he wants a pussy. He wants access to the box. When I returned, she told me she was emotionally, mentally, and physically exhausted and needed time to decompress. See, this is a great instant where you say, babe, come with me. You need an all-over oriental naked body massage. Put some towels on the bed. Just says, she says, I don't feel like having sex. Like, I'm not going to have sex with you. You're not in the mood for it. And you're obviously stressed. This is the best. Just lay down on the towels, undress her, put her down on the towels, put some oil together, and give her a nice, long massage. Both of you get naked, and then you lather it up, slide around, things pop up. I mean, at the end of the day, if she's feeling good, this has always worked for me. It really works well. Start with the shoulder rub. That's a great time to do that, because then you're making her feel good, and then she kind of forgets about her problems, starts enjoying the sensations. She starts to get a little aroused, a little tingly. Again, it's a process. And you don't have sex for 30, 45 minutes. It's all about her. It's all about the massage, getting her to relax, getting her to feel comfortable and feel amazing. And she'll slowly get turned on. Never had a problem with that. It works phenomenal. But if you're just focused on you want to get to it and bump uglies, that's not going to work here. She's not in the mood for a quickie. He says, this caused a little argument. So he got butthurt and perturbed because he didn't get the chocha. He was mad he didn't get his dessert first. It was our only night to do something together, and we were both annoyed at each other for not understanding. You were impatient because you wanted to... After an hour of hanging out, I picked up dinner and made a few cocktails. I spent the night, but she didn't want to have sex or even kiss. Hang out, have fun, hook up. So that tells me you're trying to kiss her and trying to escalate things physically, and you're ignoring the fact that she's not in the mood because all you want to do is blow the barrels out. You're not following the process. The process of seduction is the process of seduction. If you do things out of sequence, you're going to get rejected. The next day was awkward, but we went to lunch and hung out until our kids came home at 3. I left shortly after that. Communication has been very limited the past few days. It is clear she wants space, so I've been pulling back to match her level. I am not sure what to do next. How do I get this relationship back on track? She's wonderful and I think is the love of my life. Unfortunately, things seem very fucked up right now. Well, if she wants space and she's like, get away from me, and obviously, because think about it, every time you get around her, is it fun? Is it playful? Is it easygoing, easy to be with? Or are you pissed off and butthurt because you ain't been getting any? Well, all that's going to do is cause her to want to be away from you even more. So what I would do is just wait to hear from her. The quickest way to get somebody else's attention is to remove yours. And if she's not appreciating your attention, then give her the gift of missing you. And then wait to hear from her. And then when you do hear from her, like, hey, babe, how are you? It's so good to hear your voice again. Be sweet, be playful. Well, I haven't heard from you all week. It's like, you obviously missed me. We got to do something about that. When are you available? I want to see you. And figure something out. You got an adult daughter in college, so maybe go over there during the week. Maybe go over there and make dinner together, grill out something. The kids go to bed. You got to get her to talk. And I don't see any of that there. I don't like that night you were expecting as soon as the kids left that it was game on. It was time to it was sexy time. But hang out, have fun, hook up. You got to follow the process, dude. And you got to get her to talk. It definitely sounds by reading this that you're not getting her to open up and talk. Because remember, when you experience pain in a relationship, it's because you're focusing on yourself. Love is about giving. And it's in the giving unconditionally that the receiving comes back. Because as a man, what should bring you joy is to see her smile, to see her happy, to make her feel heard and understood. Because when that happens, that's when she becomes girly and playful and aroused. And she's not in a good mood because you're obviously not taking the time to do that. You were doing that before, but you haven't been doing that since because you're focused on what you're not getting in the relationship. Love is about giving. It doesn't mean the other person, you should be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't give or reciprocate at all, because things were good until you stopped being the guy that she fell in love with. And you haven't really completely got back to being that dude yet. So again, you got to follow the process, and you should be reading 3% Man as often as you can to get through it 10 to 15 times. But the process is the process, and you can't short circuit the process. You're going right for the sex instead of hanging out. I mean, you guys were hanging out, and so you should have recognized, because obviously that's why she was upset. Remember, not understanding. You should have recognized that if she's grumpy and unhappy, you should have gotten her to talk. Babe, what's going on? You look like you sound kind of down. You sound kind of worn out. Oh, really? Tell me about your week. What's it been like? How does that make you feel? And get her to talk. What else? Pour a glass of wine and let her do 95% of the talking. What else? And then maybe you just lay there and cuddle at night. But like I said, the massage thing is I've had zero objections for that. And I've even had my girlfriends go, I know what you're doing. I'm not in the mood for sex. It's like, I'm not going to fuck you. I'm just going to give you a massage. Why can't you just shut your mouth, shut that big hole in your face, and enjoy the sensations of my magical hands and my magical body as I give you this all over naked oriental massage, just as a gift because I love you. And you could say it like that because love is playful and fun. It's goofy, it's silly, it's ridiculous. And at the end of the day, after 30, 45 minutes of giving her a nice massage all over front and back, you're going to know she's a little moist down there. And then you can... And then afterwards, she could say, I knew what you were up to. I was like, yeah, but you enjoyed it. So you were screaming my name a few minutes ago. You loved it. So you got to do the basics, man. Hang out, have fun, hook up. So if you got a challenge or a question and you'd like to get my help, personal or professional, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.